Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah, Herbie, we're ready. So, on Team 1 in the top left, we have Retro Herbie playing Zelda 1. His goal being get the Master Sword, or the Magical Sword. Next up on his team would be Speed King running A Link to the Past, goal of getting the Master Sword. And, what is this? Well, this should be Bleeding Blue. I think he's restreaming. However, this is Bleeding Blue on Team 3, or on Team 1 as the Ocarina of Time runner. The goal being get Zelda's Lullaby, get Epona's Song, get Saria's Song, get the Spiritual Stone of Water, the Zora's Sapphire, and then go grab the Master Sword. That is our Team 1. Team 2, Professor Retro in the top right. Team 2 for A Link to the Past is Pole's Voice. Team 2 for Ocarina of Time is Ugly Owl. Team 3 in the bottom middle, Noise Police running Zelda 1. It's Alti running A Link to the Past. And Avidrock 42 running Ocarina of Time. And that is our team. Those are our teams. And we will be kicking off very shortly. So enjoy some tunes. Just hang out for a bit. We're going to start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Wish all of our racers good luck, and off we go. All right, and everybody's getting started. All right, the first game is Zelda 1. Goal being get the magical sword, which requires 8 hearts, I believe. So this is also the first race that we are doing that is going to allow glitches. So these racers had about a month to learn these. Some of them took their time with that. It took the whole month. Others are experienced in the games, and others just decided they wanted to start learning these runs, you know, as of yesterday. So should be a really good race, and I look forward to watching all these racers. We have Noise Police entering the second dungeon, as well as Professor Retro. Herbie collecting some rupees. It looks like Noise Police and Professor Retro are going to be following a similar route. Herbie is doing his, making his way into Dungeon 2 as well. So it looks like they are all doing the same route, at least so far. Right now we are listening to Noise Police's game audio, in case you're curious. Now, Noise Police got his bombs, which are relatively important in this run, I believe. We have Professor Retro killing King Dongo. Noise Police moving in to do the same. Having a little trouble getting the Dongo that hates smoke. And they're both saving and quitting. The Donger did get wrecked. Professor Retro and Noise Police getting that rupee that Herbie already got. Yeah, Herbie always doing the unconventional, as he loves to do. He likes to, he is not a speedrunner. He likes to come up with his own strategies, and good kill for Herbie on King Dongo. Or just the Dodongo. Also, I will undoubtedly use Ocarina of Time verbiage to describe all of these games, because that is the game that I play, and that's just what's gonna happen. Professor Retro grabbing the white sword. And I'm pretty sure that that's the equivalent of a save warp. And you're going to see our first glitch here with the screen wrap from Professor Retro. That is a pixel perfect and frame perfect input that he's doing there. Our pixel perfect position and frame perfect inputs to achieve the screen scroll. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's 5 pixels from the edge of the screen, at which point you hit, I do believe it's just up for 1 frame, and then Link is able to screen scroll. Professor Retro entering level 3. Herbie making his way to the white sword, getting blocked by the, oh goodness, what is that enemy? Yeah, I'm not 100% familiar with Zelda 1, but I love the Lionel. Thank you. Yes, Herbie getting blocked off by the Lionel there. Now it does look like, excuse me, that Professor Retro is in the lead. Noise Police entering level 3. Lionel Richie, yeah. Interesting. I'm almost certain that in Zelda 1 that you can abuse the enemy's iframes as well as your own. I think that's pretty common throughout NES games, where I'm pretty sure we just saw Professor Retro hit the, I want to say Iron Knuckle, but I know it's not an Iron Knuckle. But and he, during his iframes, I'm pretty sure he was able to just walk through them. Herbie in level 3 as well. This is a very close race so far. This is the first Zelda game that I ever played personally. Has a special place in my heart. They Dark Nut. They might be Dark Nuts. I could look it up real fast. Indeed, Dark Nuts. Okay, thank you, Avadrock. And excuse me. Professor Retro grabbing his Triforce piece and exiting the level 3. Gmon, yep. Professor Retro attempting a screen scroll there. Didn't get it, so he decided it would save him more time just to move on. Herbie getting some not pleasant RNG from these Dark Nuts. He is in a dangerous position with his one heart, and he takes a death. Very unfortunate. We are going to switch over to Professor Retro's audio, since he is in the lead.
Six, 7, 8. Shit. That's alright. I panicked there. It's okay. Thanks, Helios.
A Noise Police looking like he made it out of level 4 or level. Oh, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. He is on his waking his way to level 4. Herbie's still in level 3 because of his terrible Dark Nut RNG. Hopefully, he can get some hearts here. I'm sure he's looking for hearts. Unfortunately, he did not get them.
We need to use 2 bombs in this level. Over here.
And Professor Retro being a professional, he is. You can probably hear some of his commentary as well, describing kind of how the route goes.
Ooh, that was tricky.
Grabbing the ladder, which allows the player to cross pieces of water that are, I would assume, I guess you could call that a tile wide.
Do our ladder glitch next. Oh wow, I sorted all those guys. Damn.
Welcome on in, Lucky Yump. Hopefully you're having a good day.
I was just holding up their second. Realistically, here.
Noise Police now in level 4 as well, making his way through.
See what we can do with one.
Speaking of Pole's voices.
Alright, let's go. We're a little behind, it's okay.
Now we have Noise Police grabbing the ladder as well. This boss can be a nightmare, the one that Professor Retro is fighting.
Got him.
And he got him. GG's Professor Retro, and that is level 4 done, and he now has
I'm just running through
7 of his hearts that he needs. Correct me if I'm wrong, is it 8 hearts or 9 hearts for the magical sword? Team 2 with a solid lead right now. 12 hearts. Thank you, Avo. I was way off. I was absolutely way off. I apologize.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't do a ton of research on these runs. Bad host.
That's a good clone.
You pick up now. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, in the ballpark, but the wrong ballpark.
Get hit. That's amazing.
We were in the wrong ballpark. Herbie, looking like he is now making his way to level 4 as well. With his cozy 6 full hearts.
Ugh. That was shiesty.
Professor Retro picking up yet another heart.
Well, that was a good knock forward. A good forward boost.
Herbie picking up another heart. And yet another heart, Professor Retro.
Let's go buy the candle.
Making his way, as he just said, to the candle.
What route are they doing? Are they doing
Herbie did not go to level 4.
Level 1 last?
He will get there eventually, I'm sure. And he is heading to, I don't remember which level this is. He's heading to level 4 now. There we go.
That's fine. No problem. Alright.
Now, there might be a slight stream delay.
We're still going.
When we change over, so you might, because of the stream delay, we might miss the very end of the run.
Triforce at the end of this,
or we might miss the very beginning. What would you guys rather have happen?
Sure.
Would you rather miss the slight beginning or the slight end of a run when we change to the next racer? Because I don't think I'll be able to do it perfectly. The end? Okay.
I don't want anything dumb to happen.
Now, Professor Retro entering level 1.
Wow, that skeleton was whack. He never does that, jerk.
We have Noise Police grabbing another heart piece from the hidden thing that looks like a dungeon but is not. Sounds like Professor Retro might be on PB pace. Gotta see the swords. Yeah, you have a very, very good point, Alti.
Oops. Nope, nope.
That is probably the best point. Yeah, that is
I know it's a lot of extra time.
That is a very good point.
I gotta be sure.
A lot of the times, you'll have a little bit of a small intro cutscene and just some basic intro movements, so missing the beginning's not a huge deal, I guess. I didn't really think that through when I asked. That's okay.
Alright, here's our scroll.
Professor Retro is setting up for another screen scroll. Beautiful. Well, yeah, true. Basic rupee movement.
And we're just gonna...
And I think it's very similar for A Link to the Past. I think that has the actual intro in it.
Try to scroll.
Like a short little bit of intro where you grab the lantern, I believe. Professor Retro is...
I'll do what I want.
Jumping the gun here.
It's good enough.
And GG to Professor Retro. We are now moving on to A Link to the Past for Team 2. We have Pole's voice running. 14:04 was Professor Retro's final time. Do we not have audio? All right, Pole's voice's audio is very low, so we'll switch to more Zelda 1 dungeon music, because who doesn't love that? A Link to the Past. The goal is going to be getting the Master Sword, which requires them to beat the first 3 dungeons in the game. So basic intro stuff for A Link to the Past. We have Noise Police on his way to gather some final heart pieces or head to the magical sword as well. Herbie in level 4. GG's once again to Professor Retro with a 1404. Very good time. We have Pole's voice making his way through the, you could call this kind of the intro to the game. The skills of these racers is very impressive. They don't have much time to prepare for these races. A month, and a lot of times we're a very casual group. A lot of the times they've never even touched the games before. And I know that's true for Ocarina of Time especially, that none of these racers have ever speedrun Ocarina of Time, ever. And I spent a good bit of time, me being an Ocarina of Time runner, I spent a good bit of time with some veteran Ocarina of Time runners, and we created a route with some very cool glitches. The issue, we had to add some things to it, because the issue with Ocarina of Time is if you do it glitchless, you're looking at well over an hour to get the Master Sword. And if you do it with glitches, you're looking at 10 minutes tops. Yo, Professor Retro, thank you for the raid, and GG's. Awesome time with that 1404. Put your team in a commanding lead. But it's either like 5 minutes at most for the run of Ocarina of Time, or well over an hour. So we tried to find a happy medium where all the runners are probably around the 45-50 minute mark. So that is going to be our longest race, but there's not much you can do with Ocarina of Time in that regard. Noise Police and Herbie both in level 4 right now. GG's Professor Retro once again. Herbie and Noise Police both fighting the same boss. Herbie's slightly behind with his heart count. Herbie clearing the boss, grabbing his heart piece, moving along. And we have Pole's voice escorting Zelda out of the castle. Herbie stabbing some Tektites. Noise Police making his way through the OG Lost Woods. No screen scrolling for Noise Police. The Noise Police coming up on the end here. Noise Police about to grab his item, and Noise Police finishing up.
He's not done. I'm going.
And now for Speed King.
Here we go. Here we go.
We do have Speed King's audio playing as well. You can barely hear Average Rock, or I'm sorry, excuse me, Pole's voice's audio. His is very quiet. GG Noise Police. Finishing up with a 1924. Herbie grabbing another heart piece. And Speed King on his way to go save. Excuse me. Goodness, Speed King on his way to go rescue Zelda as well.
Let me turn up my Elgato. No, I can't.
If you're listening, Speed King, yours sounds perfect. We have good game audio. Speed King, Alti.
Oh well. It's alright.
Oh, that is Alti. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. They sound super similar. Goodness. I watch both their streams often, and they have a very similar voice. Speed King is up after Retro Herbie finishes. Looks like Herbie's on his way for his last heart piece as well. Yeah, I apologize. Poe's voice.
Yeah, me and Speed King are basically the same person.
Basically. Hey, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
It's all good, man.
Poe's voice with the boomerang making his way to the first dungeon. It's again Alti, not Speed King, going to rescue Princess Zelda.
Basically, yes.
Herbie's still going after that last heart piece. I'm sure Speed King is chomping at the bit, though.
Soldier. I mean, you're going to have words after a while.
I am very excited to see. Hopefully everybody continues to post their time. Alti grabbing the boomerang and a key. Very slick. Hopefully everybody continues to post their times, so we have a good comparison. I have a feeling that A Link to the Past is going to be extremely close based on the times that people have posted in the Discord. Herbie grabbing his last heart piece. And grabbing the Triforce piece as well.
It went smoothly.
Clean fight from Alti.
Thanks for the host noise.
Team 2 still with about a 5-minute lead or so. Herbie attempting the screen scroll here, dodging some enemies along the way. Poe's voice using that lantern to light his way through this dark dungeon. Alti escorting Zelda through that danger hallway. Herbie making it. Herbie is about to be done.
Hey, have you tried pushing?
Herbie grabbing that Master Sword, and now we bring up Speed King with A Link to the Past.
Go to the right.
GG's to all of our Zelda 1 runners. Fantastic runs. Herbie did not post his time, but we can assume it's around a 24.
RNG snakes,
40.
be nice. Yeah, they were.
Alti battling a little RNG as he's
right to get the key.
Talking about. Can Speed King catch up? That is the question. This is all, in all fairness, this is a very close race regardless. Like they're only about, 5 10 minutes apart at most, and that can be that there's a lot of make or break things in A Link to the Past, especially in Ocarina of Time as well. And there's definitely some make or break things in
Rats.
Zelda 1, as you guys clearly saw. Herbie, thank you for the raid. And GG's, Herbie. Pole's voice, grabbing a couple supplies there. And I would ask Herbie for a time. We all know Herbie doesn't time his runs, so we would have no idea. Alti rescuing Princess Zelda. We have Pole's voice fighting the boss of the first dungeon, or the pendants, I believe. And he's got his first pendant, the green one, which name I don't know. Alti grabbing that heart piece as well.
Let's go.
And Pole's voice finishing up the first dungeon. We have this lovely overworld music coming from Alti, along with his stunning voice. Shalalalalala, who Pole's voice is talking to.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, yes. Can't even do it. Pole's voice grabbing the dash boots. Something interesting, it does look like Pole's voice is playing on the English version, whereas Alti and Speed King are playing on the Japanese version. So if you'd like to read the story, top right.
Gracias, Herbie.
Thank you, Crash. I will work on that. Give me a second, Herbie. I have some things to change.
Screwed it up, but that's okay.
Heyo.
Hey, Herbie, how are you? Hopefully stream can hear you. Maybe we can comment. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I am.
Yep,
definitely
you're good.
There on
You're
the
going
stream.
How'd you feel about your run, Herbie?
I feel like I did better in practice, and then RNG really killed me in 3, and I couldn't focus after that. Like, it just got under my skin, and that killed me.
Hey, that's the story of a race, right?
Yep. Hey, at least I didn't lose because I selected the wrong difficulty, which I have seen speedrunners do.
That would be unfortunate.
Wow.
Things happen, and that's why we run the
Way too
race.
much
If the
damage
outcome
there.
was known ahead of time, there'd be no need for
That's
the race,
all
right?
Backup hearts.
We have Pole's voice making his way through the second dungeon quite smoothly. Speed King doing the push, push, push. I believe Alti, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe he's on the first dungeon.
I actually don't know.
Grabbing the bow.
To the past dungeons that well. I've only played the game once.
If he's grabbing the bow, I'm gonna say I'm almost certain he is in the first dungeons. So we have Pole's voice about a dungeon ahead. Speed King escorting Zelda.
The floppy says it is first dungeon for Pennant of Courage.
Pole's voice expediently getting out of that room. Alti expertly dodging the cannonballs. And a very nice pot throw. Speed King is narrowly escaping the rats. Pole's voice grabbing the power glove. We now have Alti at the boss of the first dungeon.
Let's see
So
here.
Pole's voice got the dungeon item, which was the power glove.
Screwed up that kill, but that's okay.
Alti grabbing the heart piece and grabbing the pendant of courage.
Oh.
Pole's voice entering the, I wouldn't call it a secret exit or entrance, but entering the next entrance to the dungeon so that he can wrap it up.
Let's go talk to
Fatal xylophone, you are now famous. Predator Gaming, welcome on in. Hopefully you guys are doing well. All the rest of chat, hopefully you're doing well. Alti doing a save reset back to his home base. Making his way to the second dungeon as well. Speed King finished the Zelda escort mission and he is on his way to the first dungeon for the Pendant of Courage. As you guys can see, it's a very close race.
And anything can happen to make it even closer.
Absolutely, especially the third boss the boss of the third dungeon in A Link to the Past. It can be absolutely brutal.
Let's go.
If you guys are interested in the Discord, we'll periodically post it. If you would like to either join events or just be in the Discord to hang out, we'll make sure we post that periodically.
Silly bird.
Pole's voice at the boss of the second dungeon, Moleworm or something? Moldworm? Isilian for Equalizer, there you go. I'm not super familiar with A Link to the Past. I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up, unfortunately for me. I just got mine a couple months ago.
I also grew up with the Genesis.
Yeah, Herbie knows.
Ah, yeah. Genesis is amazing. But there are a lot of games we didn't play because it was only for Nintendo.
This is very true.
Which is also part of the reason why in the Retro Rat Race we do not focus on a specific console. We are all over the place.
Absolutely. Anything retro, modern, retro. I consider like N64 era games. That to me, that's not retro. I grew up with Sega. That's not retro to me either.
Okay.
But you know, in general, that is considered retro at this point. So retro, modern, retro, however you'd like to. But yeah, if anybody's interested, please join the Discord. Feel free to join the Discord. We have roles set up for racers. Otherwise, you can just hang out in the Discord. We party in there. We have community game nights.
We also try and do a race about once a month. We are totally not against doing more than that, but we try to at least formally do one a month. And if you have somebody you want to do a skirmish with and you want us to host it and you're part of the Discord, hit up a mod and we can see about making it happen.
There you go, not too tired. That's how I feel about my Super Nintendo. Oh no, noise.
Woof. I will say the graphics of the 16-bit era
pot
and the
unparalleled, right?
they hold up so much better than
There we go.
the first 3D games.
I don't care what anybody says. Chat can hate me for this. No matter what you do to a Nintendo 64, if you're going to stream a Nintendo 64, capture it, however, I mean, play it on your TV at home, get a CRT, whatever. It looks like garbage, no matter what you do.
It was the first generation of 3D. It looked horrible.
However, if there's
Doesn't make
games
any
that are available for the Wii Virtual Console, the blurriness is gone. They still have that, polygonal shape. However, it cleans. As you'll see, I think all three of our runners are running on Wii Virtual Console, so you'll see that it doesn't really look like N64. It looks fantastic.
Well, a lot of why the 64 looks bad has to do with Nintendo's insane architecture, where the graphics chip only had like a minuscule amount of memory in it, and the memory on board was actually slower to get to the graphics chip than pulling data straight from the cartridge.
Pole's voice entering the final dungeon. Speed King exiting the first dungeon.
Okay.
Alti on his way
the
to
make or break
finishing up
moment.
the second dungeon. Or his, and I quote, make or break moment.
Always please saying 240 is the way to be. You know what? For those of us who
240p.
grew up with those CRT monitor, or not monitor, CRT TVs, that is the way to go.
I'm a 480 guy. That's just me. Alti facing off with Moldorm here. In his make or break moment. Speed King save warping back to home. Alti with a very clean Moldorm fight so far. We have
There we go.
Right there.
we have
worked.
Pole's voice waiting out those floating tiles. Finishing that up. Oh, thank you, Floppies. Thank you for the correction. Moldorm is apparently the boss of Dungeon 3, where the boss of Dungeon 2 is Landmolas.
Let's go.
Alti making his way to the third and final dungeon. We have Speed King making his way to the second dungeon.
Ow.
Very exciting race so far. Once again, a lot of these runners haven't played this game or speed ran these games. So the amount of time that they put in versus the times that they're putting up is always incredible to see.
I started learning Zelda 1 on Saturday. Last
Herbie,
week.
right.
Got a week. And that's
Um,
why I wasn't quite doing the right routes, is because frankly I didn't know them and I didn't really have a whole lot of time to go through and learn everything. So I was doing the thing I knew that would get me there, and I was still dying.
And Zelda 1, as everybody I'm sure knows that has played the game, it is a tough game.
All
It's
right,
harder
let's
than
see
Zelda
here.
2, and Zelda 2 is known for being hard.
Zelda 2 is bad.
I
I
think I'm
like
gonna go
watching
ahead
Zelda
and
2.
run
Disagree
inside
with you,
and
but
discomfort
Zelda-
is
You
bad.
have your right to your opinion.
I like watching it. I don't enjoy playing it.
Just
That's just
Zelda 2,
personal.
you have to
dying
get
in
used
Hero.
to combat, like, and it's different, and a lot of people just can't get used to it. They don't like it, and that's their right. I just love the game.
From what I know of A Link to the Past, it looks like Pole's voice is getting very close to the boss.
okay.
Alti trying to close that gap. Moving very expediently to the third dungeon
Trying.
with
Let's
his
see.
strange head. Alti entering the final dungeon. We have Pole's Voice facing off against the final boss, who is evil. This boss is absolutely terrible. Every time you fall down, if you get knocked down, his health resets. Your health does not, and you have to start all over again. He's doing a very good job dodging.
I hated this when I played it for the first time last year. No, the year before last. Oh my, I hated this boss.
Alti now going to be waiting out those tiles. I'm certain
you have to fight that boss twice, if I'm not mistaken.
If you're going to complete the game, I think so, yeah. I think there's like a bunch of refights. And Pole's Voice killing Moldorm, wrapping up that third
Apparently,
dungeon.
It does look like there is a cheese to stop you from falling off the edge.
Grabbing his third
That when I
pendant,
played the game.
he will be making his journey to the Master Sword. Alti doing an amazing job closing that gap. Speed King in the second dungeon.
I do feel bad for giving Speed King such a so far back start to his game. But we still have another game after this one.
We do. Like I said, Pole's Voice making his way to that Master Sword to go through the. I would assume it's called the Lost Woods still. Zelda loves Lost Woods.
I think it is the Lost Woods.
And we'll be heading to Team 2 with Ugly Owl running Ocarina of Time very shortly. As well as Team 3 is going to be hitting up Ocarina of Time very shortly as well. Like I said, Alti did a phenomenal job of closing that gap.
No. Alti fell.
No.
That gives Team 1 a chance to close the gap to
And
Team 2.
we have Pole's Voice grabbing that Master Sword, moving on to Team 2 with Ugly Owl staying in the lead.
I will say
that's
Ugly
supposed to work,
Owl
by the way.
did an amazing job, and he also did an amazing job helping all the Zelda 1 runners just know the little tips and tricks, which is what we're here for. We're here to have fun and help each other out.
Pole's Voice finishing with a 28-12. Very impressive with that sub 30. GG's to Pole's Voice, putting his Team 2 in the lead. We have Ugly Owl doing a very unconventional, if any of you guys are familiar with Ocarina of Time, Ugly Owl doing a very unconventional 40 rupee route to grab the shield, which is required to pass Mido, who blocks your way to the Deku Tree, in which case we need the slingshot. Alti killing Moldorm. He will be making his way very shortly towards that Master Sword.
So, you said you need the shield. I know we're doing glitch runs here. Is there a possibility of actually getting past him without the shield using a glitch?
There is a glitch for Mido Skip. Very difficult, and I'm almost certain that it might be Nintendo 64 specific. Yo, Pole's Voice, thank you so much for the raid. GG's with that 28-12. Very impressive, putting your team in a pretty solid lead.
But what I got from you on that Mido skip is it's not a race day strat. It's a speedrun strat.
It is a, I mean, you could do it in a race. There are backup, you know, you just have to buy more. I mean, if you have the sword, you can probably retry it. It's just, for this, we tried to keep it very friendly for these runners. Or as friendly as possible. Now, you'll see one of the hardest tricks of this run is coming up with we call it the Pokey escape after the person who found it. His name was Pokey. And that is one of the hardest tricks in this run. We got Speed King escorting Shalalala. Yeah, Alti in the Lost Woods about to grab that beautiful Master Sword.
Oh no, we got a death on Speed King.
Speed King taking was it a death or was it a void?
I don't. He did the whole spinning around and dying. It said game over.
Very well. Very good. Good run,
We have an
Pole's
Alti
voice.
done.
Impressive time. Now we have Pole's voice. Alti is done. And that is team 3, where we will bring up Avadrock. GG Alti with a 25.46 and a 28.12. He shaved 3 minutes faster, or well, 2.5-ish minutes faster than Avadrock, closing that gap. GG's Alti. And that is my dog in the background being very angry at God knows what at this point.
That's what dogs do. We love them anyway.
We have Ugly Owl grabbing some Deku sticks and making his way to the Deku tree to grab the slingshot. Now, I do know this route very well. Avadrock doing the standard 40 rupee route. Very nicely done. Speed King, living up to his name, already entering the 3rd dungeon, closing that gap as well. Very soon we will have all 3 runners on Ocarina of Time. GG Alti, impressive time. That is super fast, dude. He really did close that gap. Ugly Owl grabbing some nuts. Is he going to go for the... Oh, he's grabbing double nuts here. Interesting. Triple nuts. Wow, he... Okay. Like, once again, we have Ugly Owl taking a very unconventional route, which is fine. It's interesting to watch. Yeah, it is interesting to watch. It makes the races very interesting for sure. He's going for the tech skip, and he got it. There's a frame perfect A press as soon as Link lands in order to skip the Navi door text, and he nailed it. Avadrock grabbing some rupees here so that he can get his 40 to buy his shield as well. Speed King making his very speedy way through the final dungeon. Ugly Owl almost stepping on that platform, making his exit a little bit slower. However, he avoided it. Avadrock grabbing his shield and making his way to the Deku tree as well. Speed King entering the... I'm pretty sure that was the boss door. Now making his way to the boss fight as well. Ugly Owl exiting the Deku tree, making his way to grab Zelda's letter, and here you're going to see a glitch called the Poke Escape, which there's a property called Infinite Sword Glitch. While you have this property of when you use it, when you do a crouch stab in Ocarina of Time, if you interrupt it on a specific frame, Link will do what's called the Infinite Sword Glitch, where he swings his sword every frame, so 20 frames per second. While you have that, it has some very strange properties, and it will allow Ugly Owl to clip into this gate guard, which is a know-it-all brother, but it is called Poke Escape. So, see if he gets it first try. If he does, that is impressive. He did not get it first try. He was a little early on the A press. Speed King wrapping up Moldorm here, taking it safe, it looks like. Ugly Owl. Oh, Ugly Owl clipping through the guard, and he's going to drop him into the void. Very nice. I do like this strat. You can line up, yep, and he's gone. Ugly Owl escaping the forest. on his way to grab the ocarina, which he will need to learn Epona's song. Avadrock missing the tech skip for the door. Speed King grabbing his final pendant and making his way to the Master Sword. The owl escapes the forest. Funny enough, there is 5 owls I think we looked at today. It's 5 owls that you end up talking to. Speed King save warping back to his home, or the shrine, in order to go grab his Master Sword. Avadrock grabbing that slingshot. Speed King expediently making his way through the Lost Woods to grab his, his Master Sword. And that will wrap him up shortly. Yeah.
You are a Ocarina of Time speedrunner. What got you into speedrunning Ocarina of Time specifically?
I just love the game. I've played it too much. And then I started learning randos, which got me interested in glitches and tricks. And I started watching more and more speedruns around 2015. I started watching speedruns of Ocarina of Time. And there's one trick called the Hess that was like, I need to learn that. So along with doing the randos and doing the learning the different glitches, I said, well, if I can learn these glitches, like, why shouldn't I speedrun it? And that's when I decided to start learning the speedrun. Yo, GG Speed King grabbing his sword. Bleeding Blue leaving the house. See if Bleeding Blue can close this gap. Avadrock.
I sure hope he can.
Working on his pokey escape here. GG Speed King. What is his time, I wonder? I want to know. I really want to know his time. I really do.
Looks like 27:18.72.
Oh, 27. So right in the middle, I believe, right? Yep, right in the middle of Pole's voice and Alti. Alti absolutely crushing it. Yeah, the failed trick counter is impressive, and I appreciate that. So it looks like he has failed Pokey Escape twice now. That is 3. I don't know if he counted that. We have Ugly Owl making his way to grab Zelda's letter. He's leaving and re-entering in order to get Malin so that he can get the weird egg to wake up Talon. Talking to the owl. Bleeding Blue grabbing the sword. Next he will be grabbing his rest of his 40 rupees in order to grab his shield and the slingshot. And to Avadrock's credit, failing that 3 times is impressive. Top tier runners reset over forced escape constantly. That is a difficult trick, and he got it 3rd try, and that's super impressive. I think Owl got it 2nd try.
And this is a race. It's not even a speed.
You're right, and it is a race, so you know.
You could reset, but you don't want to.
Right. And Avadrock and Ugly Owl both, I know, started learning this run probably 2 weeks ago, and the progression is incredible. Bleeding Blue, he learned this route yesterday and today.
He is also a.
He does play a lot of Ocarina of Time rando. Yes.
Speedrunner, if I'm mistaken. He does a lot of randomizer, which does help with the tricks.
GG's to Speed King. Phenomenal run. Putting Bleeding Blue for the potential. I mean, there's a lot of tricks that you could fail here, and Ocarina of Time especially, because it is pretty trick intensive for this run. There's some stuff that you can lose a lot of time on. Ugly Owl coming up on guards, you can easily lose a couple minutes. Not even exaggerating, a couple minutes by getting caught by the guards a few times. You could lose a lot of time on forced escape.
Locks on this at all?
Say that again, Herbie.
Are there any chances for getting a soft lock in this at all?
There is a chance for a soft lock in one trick where they would be able to save, reset, and it's not going to lose a ton of time. It would just start you over at the beginning of the dungeon. But there is a potential if they go for Beery Hover. There's a very cool hover in this, potentially. If they go for it, there's a chance that if you're in the wrong position, you could get stuck. There are some ways out of it. Sometimes you get just stuck, in which case they just save, reset. It starts you right at the beginning of the dungeon. You're not going to lose a ton of time.
Another question for you. I'm seeing a lot of Japanese text here. Is that because the Japanese text goes faster?
The sole reason, the only differences for Ocarina of Time are, as far as Japanese and English versions go, are the text. Yeah, solely the text. It's just faster. It uses less characters, 1 character per frame. And that's it. That's the only difference.
But that's enough. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cutscene in this. Oh, see, this is what we're talking about. Ugly Owl getting caught by the guards. As you can see, I mean, that's probably 10 seconds just getting caught, maybe even more, maybe 15, 20 seconds just re-entering. And, so if you get past a bunch of guards and then have to do them all again, it can be quite frustrating. The guards, Ocarina of Time community calls them the speed police, because they don't want you to go fast. Bleeding Blue making his way to the slingshot. Doesn't get the text skip. Darth Plague, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well.
We have a Darth Plague here in the chat, wishing everybody good luck. We are down to the wire. This is the last game.
He was going to commentate with me tonight. However, he did get stuck at work, unfortunately for Darth.
Those things do happen. He's not the only one who got stuck for work. You mentioned that Bleeding Blue started learning the race 2 days ago. That's because Empty Thoughts, who was supposed to be Team 2's Ocarina of Time player, got caught in a thing where he couldn't get out of for his own work, and it was an event that he had to go to at like 7 o'clock this morning. That
very unfortunate.
Half an hour. It is very unfortunate because he was excited about playing in this, and then he couldn't.
Big props to Bleeding Blue for stepping in for sure. We have Ugly Owl taking the ultra safe. You could call this the casual guards. He's playing it very safe, which is in a race probably in his best interest since he already did fail it once.
And he does have the time to spare.
And he does, yeah. Whether he knows that or not, I don't know. Sometimes I personally, if I'm racing, I don't have the restream up because I don't want to know. I just want to go as fast as I can. I'm glad you can make it as well, Darth. Enjoy your lunch, sir.
I will say, in the bit that I have been watching Speed King, he can focus in on the game.
Speed King is a focus master. Speed King, very phenomenal speedrunner. And he picks the games up very, very quickly. Bleeding Blue making his escape. Avadrock
also is
about
really
to do
quick
guards.
picking up games.
There's a very long cutscene that Ugly Owl is going to sit through here. Now I did race. I raced.
Is that a skippable?
No, you can skip it with explosives. However, I purposely left explosives out of this route in the interest of it being friendly. You can get early explosives. However, it can be very frustrating. So we left that. I routed around it.
That's not to say that they couldn't have.
100% Pole's voice. This game is very, very difficult. It's a very popular speedrun. However, it is extremely difficult to learn, and these guys picked it up super fast. Blue's struggling.
Easy game when you're not speedrunning it.
It is, yeah. Blue's struggling slightly with the pokey escape here. I actually raced Blue today. We raced 3 races of this route, and I'm technically the world record holder of this route. I made it up. Nobody else ran it. But he beat me once today. He beat me one out of 3 times today. So Blue is very capable.
I would say Zelda 1, the first one. I think that one's the oddball of the entire relay, where that game's just difficult, even casually.
This escape that Blue's doing right now, and the other runners have already gotten past, is stupid. It's And there's no easier way around it. It can be extremely frustrating, and I'm sure Blue's feeling that frustration at this point. It's awful. And there's, like I said, without practice, you do it a bunch of times, sure, it's like second nature. However, if you don't do this often, it can be very punishing. However, he's really not that far behind the rest of the runners, realistically. Avidrock with still only 3 failed tricks. Avidrock going for the speedy side hop. See if he manages. He's going to play it safe as well. Good call on his part. These guards, the speed police are very relentless, Professor Retro. Pretty good guards from Avidrock, though. Blue managing the escape.
I'm going to say one thing, though. Well, they might catch you when you're going fast. With all the yelling Link does as he goes by, they must be deaf.
Yeah, they are clearly deaf. Ugly Owl grabbing his first song of the 4 bays, as the meme category is known for. 4-bay RTA. It's an adapted version of 4-bay RTA, and then we added grabbing the Master Sword. So Sari is just very cool when we talk to her twice. You grab the ocarina and you grab Sari's song. However, this is technically the first goal, which is getting Zelda's Lullaby that Ugly Owl is coming up on. Avidrock closing that gap for sure. He's already entering the Zelda's Lullaby cutscene. And Blue making his way to do the same thing. This at this point it's very close. There's some major time sinks that can definitely happen, and depending on the strats that these guys use, there's a lot of time saved to be had. So this is anybody's game at this point. It's not necessarily Ugly Owl's game at this. Even like Blue could easily overtake if either Ugly Owl makes mistakes or does not go for we'll call them the ultra speed strats. So hopefully we do get to see some of those speed strats. We'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure Avidrock is going for all of them. I can't speak for Ugly Owl, and I'm almost certain that Blue's going to go for all of them. He went for all of them today when him and I raced.
Let's see if he'll risk it for the biscuit.
I mean, at this point, I would definitely be doing some risky stuff if I was running this.
You got to risk it to get that nice shiny patch.
Absolutely. Absolutely, which I still haven't.
For those of you who don't
out.
know, we don't usually have prizes for races, but we did get a stock of patches with the RetroRatRace logo on it and 2 little trophies to the side because it is a trophy per se, and we give those out to the people who've won races. We
do. I am very bad, and I don't have any stamps, and it's been months since I went and got stamps. But I work midnights. Give me a break. The post office is never open when I'm awake. But I do have a list of people that I need to send patches to. So you'll get them eventually, guys. I'm sorry.
I am bad at that too. I remember there was a few years ago I had a package already put in a box to ship to a friend.
Ugly Owl making...
It was for her birthday, and her birthday's in January. She got it in July because I went to the post office across the street from my house in July to ship her that package.
Thank you, Halty. I appreciate that. I can apparently buy them online. Ugly Owl grabbing his second goal out of, I guess, five goals total, if you want to consider them goals. Including Blue grabbing the weird egg and going to wake up Talon very shortly. So he's not very far behind Avidrock.
Looks like we got an egg over here with Blue.
Yep, Blue got his weird egg, which hatches into a pocket, or not a pocket, it just hatches into a cucko, which he then will use to wake up Talon, the world's worst dad, who abandoned his daughter and fell asleep, who is Malin. He abandoned her and fell asleep delivering milk. Link politely reminds him with a chicken to wake up and go tend to his daughter. Average Rock learning Zelda's Lullaby, about to complete his first goal. Ugly Owl doing a save reset to get back to Link's house to go make his way through the Lost Woods to grab Saria's song. Bleeding Blue making his way still. Once again, he's about to do guards. The beloved Speed Police. And coming up shortly in Ugly Owl's run, we will be seeing another trick known as the Aqua Escape. You can do it a couple ways. You can either clip out of bounds. Well, sort of. You clip into an actor, or you use Navi to allow Link to sink to the bottom of the water so that you can escape the Lost Woods without having the silver scale. So a lot of big sequence breaks here in this run, which makes it very interesting, especially very beginner friendly. You can learn some of these tricks, these big sequence breaks, bring you into the fold, get you kind of addicted to running Ocarina of Time. That was my hope when routing this. I'm actually going to click that link, Alti. Thanks, dude.
I'm sorry. I just had to chuckle a little bit because we're sitting here playing Zelda, where you play as a Link, and you're like, I'm going to click that link.
Very true, very true. Cheers, Alti. I don't know, can I make this tink? There we go. What if you were already addicted? Swift Pichu. I mean, these things happen.
Then you get
It's a very addicting game.
To your friends.
Blue taking a safeguard strat.
I will say that kind of is part of the way speedrunning is in general. When you get one that you really enjoy, it's hard to not do it. Like, you get addicted to that game. It's fun. You just want to keep doing it.
Very true. And once again, Ugly Owl taking a very unconventional route through the hedge maze there, taking some damage. Hopefully, I would assume prepping for a death warp here. Yeah, absolutely. So he does not have to go back through that hedge maze or go over top of it. You can take a death here, and it will take you right to the beginning of the Sacred Forest Meadow. It's a quick death warp, saves you a little bit of time.
We got Bleeding Blue playing Solid Snake and passing guards.
Yeah, he's doing he's getting some slow guards here, but he's playing it safe, and that's probably a very good call.
You know, we like to say risk it for the biscuit, but if you know it's gonna fail, it's better not to do it.
Yeah, I mean, without there's frame perfect side hops that you can do. However, they're frame perfect, and it's very difficult to maintain that frame perfect rhythm with the scene changes and the lag in between scene changes and the different lag on the screens. It is a very, very, very difficult thing that top runners fail all the time. Like world record holders that have been playing this game for years and years and years, that they fail it often.
It's funny you say
Speed
frame
Police.
perfect, and as soon as you say frame perfect in my brain, I'm like, that's a very minuscule amount of time. But unlike the NES, Ocarina of Time has fewer frames a second, correct?
It does. The gameplay, Ocarina of Time is weird. The title screen is 60 frames per second. The pause menu is 30 frames per second, and the gameplay is 20 frames per second, give or take some lag. However, there's much less lag on the Wii VC.
Well, on the NES, I want to say it's just over 60 frames per second.
I was assuming it just ran at 60.
It's actually slightly off. It has to do with the GPU clock rate or something.
Exactly, Alti, exactly. However, there's a lot, like, you only have 2 directions, or 4 you have your 4, maybe 6 cardinal directions, or 6 directions total, between up left and up right, where, a 3D game there's a little bit going on there. So I wouldn't underrate the frame rate just because it's a lower frame rate. There's a lot going on in Ocarina of Time that makes it extremely difficult. Ugly Owl going for the Navi dive, not the clip. So by talking to Navi, the text box actually interrupts Link's gravity, and he just kind of, as you see, sinks to the bottom because the text box kind of unloads that water and allows him to sink while the text box is open. So big sequence break there. Otherwise, in order to get here, you would need to go to Dongo's Cavern, get bombs, or do the fishing game and grab silver. Oh, no, you'd have to do Dongo's Cavern. You have to get bombs. So you can't get the scale casually anyway. You could get gold scale,
I just looked it up.
but
the NES frame rate is 60.098 frames per second.
it's what?
60.098 frames per second.
Very well. Ugly Owl making his way to Jabu's belly in order to get his 4th bay. See what strat he goes for here.
See if he pulls a Herbie and does his own thing.
He might get the scale, the silver scale, and the bottle to get in there, or he might go for the King Zora skip. We will have to see. He is going for the King Zora skip. Very big sequence break here as well. Saves you from playing the mini diving game in order to get the silver scale, and then going to Lake Hylia to grab your Zelda's letter to move him. He is doing a skip to skip King Zora completely.
Nobody wants to sit here and hear him weep.
Right. It's a very long time.
It's like a minute of weep.
Blue grabbing Zelda's lullaby here. Avadrock grabbing Saria's song for his 3rd out of the 4th goal, or 3rd out of 5 goals. Ugly Owl managing to clip in the wall there. Now he's going to be entering Jabu without a bottle, so he has to also clip into Jabu as well, which you'll see very shortly. Avadrock taking his death. Now, depending on the strats that Ugly Owl uses here. Oh, he's doing a very interesting clip. You can actually clip into the top of Jabu's mouth with a jump slash like he did there. The loading zone's actually there. He just had to get to the loading zone because it's a square and Jabu's mouth is round. So he's able to get to the loading zone that way.
They weren't smart enough to make it smaller than his mouth.
Well, I mean, I guess not.
This is back in the 90s when they weren't expecting people to intentionally break the game.
Yeah, Floppies, no more weep for 42 minutes. Now, it does look like Ugly Owl getting Infinite Sword Glitch first try. He's going to be going for the Beery Hover, which, while Link is in a ISG state, he can't fall because of the rate of which he's swinging his sword. So he's going to go for what's known as the Beery Hover, which is a giant sequence break. He's going to go bypass 90% of the dungeon here by hovering up to the next floor and then bringing the what you would do at the very end of your run or your dungeon, which is bring that little platform down so that you can bring a box to that blue switch that you can see in the bottom of the screen. And he did get it first try. So he's hovering up.
Now we got Blue going backwards across Hyrule Field. That's another thing where it's just faster to go backwards, right?
It is, yeah. The movement speed is faster. Now, technically, the fastest movement speed in the game would be frame perfect side hops everywhere. However, backwalking is the RTA, the fastest way of movement. It was a very nice hover from Al. First try. Now he's going to talk to Princess Ruto a lot because she never shuts up. Avadrock going for the King Zora skip as well. Not too far behind Ugly Owl here. He's getting a lineup.
That princess is the most annoying character in
Oh,
Zelda.
she talks forever. She really does.
And she's got an attitude as well.
She really does. Yeah, if this was in English, you would see that she has quite the attitude. We have Blue getting his third out of 5th goal. Avadrock nailing that clip. Still maintaining his 3 failed tricks, which is very impressive. Got that first try. GG's to Avadrock. Ugly Owl throwing Rudo to activate that switch there instead of dropping her and using the boomer or the slingshot to activate that switch.
I mean, that's about all she's for.
Bleeding Blue on his way to get Saria's song. Avadrock.
There's nothing more.
Ooh, Avadrock did fail the clip.
Much more than a game mechanic, is she?
Yeah, she's terrible. Avadrock did fail the Jabu clip. He's doing a different Jabu clip than Ugly Owl, where you do 2 crouch stabs and then a side hop and jump slash to recoil off of that pillar in order to force yourself backwards at a high speed, at which point you will kind of clip into the loading zone. You kind of just clip through Jabu's body there, or his mouth.
Looks like he's still incrementing that failed trick counter, which, again, I
Yeah.
love it. Just like
Props to that. Like, I could never keep track of that. Ugly Owl making his way to the slingshot room. Ugly Owl taking advantage of the massive amount of nuts he's collected.
I doubt these nuts, right?
How about it? Avadrock now going for his 4th try, nailing it, clipping into Jabu. Very nicely done. Blue stalling a little bit to take some damage in order to do his death warp.
So I get the feeling this relay is going to have a lot of what we had in the Sonic the Hedgehog relay, where each team had one of the best racers for each game. Like, one team is going to have the best Zelda racer. The next different team is going to have the best Link to the Past racer. And the last team is going to have the best Ocarina of Time racer. That's just the feeling I'm getting.
And that's good, because that makes it makes it for a very interesting race. Ugly Owl grabbing that box in order to activate this temporary switch. If you jump off of the blue switches, they will open back. They will unactivate. So you drop a box on it to keep the switch activated. Ugly Owl doing the casual method of opening the door to Jabu's belly. Avadrock nailing ISG.
We have a Saria song for Bleeding Blue.
And Avadrock about to start his hover here. A little slow on that, so he has to rebait the Beery. That's okay. So he has to rebait the Beery back towards him so that the Beery comes to him from the right side. And Ugly Owl entering the only boss that we fight in this. Baronade, the 3rd child dungeon. Avadrock nailing the hover. And up he goes, up, and away. Very nicely done on Avadrock's part. Ugly Owl running up against Baronade here. Missing the quick kill.
And how exactly is the quick kill? Like,
It's very fast. You have a quick boomerang throw, which has all those little jellies very close to Baronade, so you can actually hit them with one nut. And then the second phase, you have a very quick boomerang throw as well, which keeps the second set of jellies very close to Baronade, and that would enter the third and final phase of the fight very quickly. Bleeding Blue attempting Aqua Escape here. Let's see if he goes for the clip. He is. Average Rock talking to Rudo, who never shuts up.
now your Aqua Escape, basically you're doing movements to push Link further down in the water, correct?
No, actually the clip that Blue was going to do and failed actually clips you into that that square piece around the thing. It clips you into it, so you can actually you don't have to go down because the loading zone extends upward. You can just swim into the loading zone that way. However, he took advantage of the Ocarina Dive as a backup.
It's always good to have a backup.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen on race day.
And Ugly Owl defeating Baronade. Bleeding
looks
Blue
like we
entering
have another
Zora's domain.
Moeep skip coming up.
Yep, we will see another Moeep skip. 100%. Ugly Owl entering that warp zone, or that blue warp, in order to grab his 4th out of 5th goal, and he will soon be on his way to go get the Master Sword with the door time skip. Another incredibly huge sequence break, which saves you from doing the first 3 child dungeons in order to get the Song of Time, which opens the Door of Time. However, we will be skipping it. I'm almost certain there's a new piece of tech out called lunge storage, which all 3 of our runners are taking advantage of. They're not using the old strats of dot skip, which is dot door of time. Blue getting the King Zora skip first try. However, he popped back in bounds, which is definitely possible.
I had some very similar things that were happening to me in practice where I'd get the screen scroll, but then immediately go right back where I came from, and it was like I'd never done it.
Yeah, these things do happen. Ugly Owl grabbing that 4th bay.
Paul's voice commenting that he was trying to do some things safe and it ended up being sloppy. That happens so many times when you're like, you know what, I'm not going to be so aggressive. And in not being aggressive, you end up messing everything up. And he was actually saying that in Ugly Owl's chat. It's so weird how when you decide you're not going to do the exact same path, so you're going to do something easier, how you can just throw your entire timing off and do worse than you thought you would.
Speed King, GG's on your run. Very impressive. Welcome into chat. We got Avidrock fighting the Stingrays here for the boomerang. And then Ugly Owl going to be shortly leaving the forest with that Aqua Escape once again in order to make his way to the Temple of Time in order to get his Master Sword. Or he's going for Pokey Escape, which is much harder after you get Zelda's Lullaby. So we'll see if he loses any time here.
You say it's harder after Zelda's Lullaby. What makes it harder?
Actually, nobody knows. I asked the speedrunning Discord about that, and they are working on an answer. They're looking into it. Nobody actually knows why. There's some sort of code that that guard checks for Zelda's Lullaby, and they think that piece of code that he checks for is the reason.
Like maybe it throws off some RNG or something?
No, there's no RNG. It actually, they're not sure what exactly happens. It was a urban legend for a long time. Ugly Owl having some issues.
Yeah.
However, there was a let's get some audio in here. We will go to the second team, Team 3. Get Avidrock's audio in. Because we're not sitting in silence. It was thought for a long time that the guard's position changed once you get Zelda's letter. However, that's not true. Hopefully Ugly Owl gets his stream. He might not actually know that his stream had crashed because he's in the middle of a race, so we'll have to see.
He is back.
Is he? Okay, good. He's back here as well now. I don't know how he got here. However, he is entering the Temple of Time and he is about to finish. Avidrock getting ready to fight Baronade. Blue struggling a little bit with the infinite sword glitch here. Gonna reset that room. And the crazy thing about Ocarina of Time, things are constantly being found.
Especially now they have the reverse engineered source code.
Yeah, they do. However, that's only for... that's actually only for the Master Quest debug ROM, so it's actually not 100% complete. However, it sort of is. However, they're finding things. There was actually just this Christmas, they did an advent calendar sort of thing where they released a new glitch every day of the month. A brand new speed tech released, found in the game from 1998, released this year.
It's having source code does, even if it's not exactly the same. Just knowing what the code is doing, or having an idea.
Oh, blue failing the Beery Hover here. Trying to lure that back.
So can we get an explanation of how this door time skip works?
So the way they're doing it with lunge storage, it's called lunge storage. When Link does a forward stab, he does a lunging animation. Well, if you do that while you're falling off a ledge, Link actually keeps that animation. So when you jump slash, Link will actually do that slight lunge forward afterwards, after the jump slash. So by getting a very, very, very precise position along with a precise angle, when you do that jump slash, it will push you through the very small gap that the developers left in between the door time and the wall there. Without that gap there, none of this would be possible. Avidrock not getting a quick kill. Blue getting the Beery Hover and moving on to Rudo.
Looks like Team 2 is the victor.
Team 2 is the victor. GG's to Team 2. Ugly Owl grabbing that Master Sword. Very, very cool. And a dot done from Ugly Owl right there. GG's Team 2. You are this month's victor. Done with a 45-19. A very good time. GG's Ugly Owl.
45-19.
A very good time. GG's to Team 2. You guys performed phenomenally.
Professor Retro really getting them off to a good start.
He did. Professor Retro's time was incredible for the Zelda 1 Magical Sword. He beat everybody by at least, he gave them a solid 4-minute lead right off the get-go. Ugly Owl coming through with the clutch as the anchor, bringing his team home. And Pole's Voice putting up a super respectable run as well, even, like with very small mistakes. Alti closing that gap, putting Avidrock in a very good position as well. Speed King closing some gappage as well, putting Blue. It's a very close race.
Yeah, you never know. Blue is not that far behind.
He is not. He's going to be making his way to the boomerang very shortly. Avidrock having a little bit of difficulty with Baronade here, having to grab some health. This fight, I remember this as a child, this fight being incredibly frustrating. And keep in mind, I mean, Avidrock hasn't played this game other than casually, you know, up until the last week or two. Very well done on Avidrock's part, defeating Baronade. Ugly Owl, thank you for the raid, dude. GG's with that 45-19, bringing your team to first place. Congrats. Professor Retro, Pole's Voice, Ugly Owl, well done, well done. Very well done.
Looks like we are out of Jabu Jabu.
Yes, we are out of Jabu Jabu. We have a small cutscene to wait through for Avidrock. Blue grabbing that boomerang. Also very close to finishing. Like I said, I hope everybody posts their times. That way we can, you know, see how close they were. A Link to the Past was very close. As you all saw, real time, Zelda 1 was very close as well. Ocarina of Time is also looking very close. You know, if you take into account the gaps in, or the space, you know, in between when they started, these runs are also very close. 3 very close races. And like you said, Herbie, when you have not a team stacked with the best runners of each, you know, it makes for a very interesting race. You know, and nobody knew, you know, who was going to be the best at what. It's very cool how these teams, how it worked out.
Naturally.
Right, how
like
it worked out. It's
cool. You're picking your teams, kind of thing. You just get your team together, you post who it is, and we just get going.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Which
Blue making his way to
show how
Baronade.
Our community really is about just getting out here and having fun. We're not sitting here like, all right, this guy's really fast at this, I'm going to recruit him to get on the team. It's, hey, you want to join a team?
Like you can see, Blue closing that gap pretty quickly. He's already on the Baronade fight when Avidrock just finished. So Blue is doing, he's on a hot run right now. I'm glad you had fun, Pole's Voice. It was super fun hosting, and you guys are awesome. I mean, I can't stress that enough, how amazing all these runs today were. Yeah, R cubed. That's what I call it.
Those of you who are paying attention in the Discord, we have released the name of the game for next month's race. On May 21st, we're going to do a tournament for Uniracers.
And what is Uniracers?
Basically, you're racing unicycles. You've got, it's like a 1v1 racing with unicycles on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I haven't played it personally. I've seen it. It looks like a really fun game. It didn't make it that big because Pixar sued the devs of Uniracers because the unicycle that you're racing looks exactly like one of the characters from a Pixar animated short. So they got like, I think it's 10,000 copies of the game were sold, and they were not allowed to do a second run. So
Blue nailing.
Game.
Not to cut you off, Blue nailing the quick kill on Baronade, easily closing that. Like he's closing that gap between him and Avidrock. Now, if Avidrock struggles with Door of Time skip, this is still anybody's second place run. Blue might be on PB pace. I don't have a stream up, so I couldn't say. However, super impressive times. Very cool. Like, we love to see that quick kill. Thank you, Professor Retro. I really appreciate that. And Ulti. I do my best. Like I said, I'm a lot more knowledgeable on Ocarina of Time, so I can speak a little bit more about exactly what the racers are doing, why tricks fail, things like that. However, you know, everybody has their area of quote-unquote expertise, I guess. Yeah, that was a beautiful Baronade fight by Bleeding Blue. That is exactly how that's supposed to go. Avidrock going to be making his way to Hyrule Castle in order to do his Door of Time skip. Bleeding Blue, honestly, Blue's probably like 45 seconds behind, maybe, if that. If I was to guess. Not too far behind, maybe a minute.
I still think it's hilarious, plot-wise, that the way you get the spiritual stone from her is you get engaged.
That is the Zora's engagement ring, that is correct.
You got little kids getting engaged. They're like, what, 7 at this point?
Yeah, they are 7, yeah, I believe that's the going, not theory, but yeah, somewhere around 7 years old. And considering all the stuff, if you know the game Ocarina of Time, considering all the stuff Link does at the age of 14, very impressive. Blue gathering that spiritual stone.
He does have the Triforce of Courage, so you can't completely discredit that.
I suppose you're right. It does have magical powers, right? So if he's 17, then that makes him 10, I guess, in that case, when he, right
I
now.
thought he was 14 as an adult, though.
Who knows, dude? Oh, very interesting. Oh, never mind. I thought I thought for a second Avadrock was going to go for the we'll call it the traditional door time skip. However, he is setting up for lunge storage as well.
All right, Ugly I was saying that he is 17 as an adult, so, but
Yeah, I don't know the specifics.
you just know the gameplay. Not the
I do.
plot.
Yeah, I do know this game pretty well. Avadrock trying to get his one ESS turn in. And first try Dora time skip. GG's with his minimal 6 failed tricks. GG's to Avadrock, about to grab that Master Sword. Bringing his team, clutching his team, second place. So far we have Team 2 first place. Team 3 is going to be second place. And Team 1 in third place, but not a very far behind third place. Very, very close race. It was a very clean dot skip floppies. Grab the sword, sir. Dot done from Avadrock. GG's, Avadrock. What was your time? 51:23. So closing the gap slightly between Ugly Owl, but not I guess not really. He did lose a little bit of time on Ugly Owl, but with a PB though. That's awesome. A huge PB. Congratulations, Avadrock. I hope you enjoyed the run. And it was a pleasure having you race with us, and absolutely GG's. We're going to switch to Bleeding Blues audio as he swims down
He is on the way to the
river.
to the Temple of Time, right?
And a PB in a race. That has to feel good. Did any of our other runners PB today? That's a solid
I'm not
PB,
sure,
Avadrock. That's awesome.
In our team, getting a PB on race day isn't unheard of. I know Kirktown has done it in a race. Darth has done it in a race. He got a PB when we were doing DuckTales on NES. That just has a lot to do with the fact that we're playing games that we haven't done before.
Absolutely, and that's fantastic. Heart rate PB2, I bet, is what Avadrock said. GG's, Avadrock. Absolutely phenomenal run, dude. And congrats on the PB.
I did my best, but I don't.
Also, loving your failed tricks counter.
That was beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Team that finished.
I was gonna say, what's Avadrock's PB or what's his time? Well, clearly it's literally right there on the screen.
I think
Idiot. Bad host.
23.
But I had to.
GG's. GG's. Huge GG's.
All
Blue and
right.
Blue. Like I said, I mean, I'm super interested in seeing Blue's time because I have a feeling he demolished both Ugly Owl and Avadrock. I just have this weird feeling, judging on how close they are to all finishing. And Blue learned this run basically today. He played it a little bit yesterday and then today. So huge shout outs to Blue. And I don't know why this audio is desynced. However, I apologize.
Right away.
First try dot skip as well. GG's, Blue. Like I said, I'd be super interested in seeing Blue's time. And that is it. That is our final racer. And I'll stop time as soon as I see Blue's stream stop. Avadrock, thank you so much for the raid. GG's on that huge PB. A dot done from Bleeding Blue. Is he going to give us a time?
47:20.
47:20. That is
Thanks, Herbie.
That is huge. So 47:20 from Blue, a 51:23 from Avadrock, a 45:19 from Ugly Owl. So still behind Ugly Owl. Ugly Owl
My heart
killing
can
it.
Finally stop.
Team
And-
1 was a really good team.
Absolutely. Team
did our
1 was
best.
awesome, Herbie. Yourself included.
I'm sorry. Team 2 is the really good team. I'm sitting here thinking they're in first place. Had some good racers on my team. I just had some issues on my run. That happened.
Now, as is tradition, if anybody wants to join the green room, any of our racers, and care to comment on any of their runs, feel free. Blue's in the green room. We'll bring him in real quick.
You want to track me in?
Professor Retro coming
Welcome
in.
in.
Hey guys.
Hey, Blue!
How'd you feel?
Congratulations.
That was a quick learn for you. How'd you feel in the race?
My heart was gonna explode that whole time, but we got through it. Like I struggled a lot with Pokey Escape at the beginning because it's got 2 ESS turns in the setup, and my hands were just shaking too much to make that even like remotely possible. So, like, as soon as I calmed down after I got that, it went better. But like that was such a struggle for me, just because like I couldn't get my hands to like stop like shaking for some reason.
Hey, race nerves. These things happen, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I invite any of our runners that happen to still be in chat if you guys want to hop in the green room. Oh, Ugly Owl, there he is. Professor Retro, how was your run?
Yo,
That was an amazing run, Retro. Professor Retro.
Professor Retro.
I felt horrible the whole time.
Same.
It was rough. I mean, I've been streaming it for 3 weeks, and it was just tough. But I had a great time.
Hey, I mean, congratulations. Did you happen to PB today? Just curious. Professor Retro.
My PB is like 13:30.
Woo! That's smoking. So you did miss it by a couple minutes, I think, right?
PB is like 13:30.
Oh my goodness.
So you did miss it by a couple minutes, right?
I missed it by about 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, GG's to everybody for sure. Where'd Ugly Owl go? What happened? Ugly Owl, how did you feel about your run?
GG's to everybody, sure.
I get a feeling Ugly Owl might be having some technical
Yeah, how did you
difficulties.
feel about your run?
Blue, when did you start learning this run?
Thursday night.
Awesome. Alti, since I see you're here now. When did you start learning this?
I started learning it in like 2016, but I never finished learning it till now.
How'd you feel about your run?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. There were some things that went really well. I was really happy with the Landmalas. I was really grumpy with Moldorm kicking me off the frickin' platform. But it all came down to a pretty good run.
Awesome. Did you happen to PB, Alti?
I did not. I was about 30 seconds off my PB.
Looks like Professor Retro dipped out real quick. I was going to ask him how long he'd been running, but that's okay. Owl, are you here, Ugly Owl?
I think they're fighting Discord right now.
Fair enough. False alarm. I got you. Discord is being stupid. Fair enough.
Welcome back, Professor.
Welcome
Retro.
back, Professor. When did you start learning this run, Professor Retro?
We might, Discord might be having some issues.
Yeah, it looks like Ugly Owl and Professor Retro are having issues. Avadrock, we'll drag Avadrock in real quick. Oh,
Welcome,
already done.
Avadrock. How did you feel in that race?
Oh God.
Fair enough.
I think everybody's reaction is the exact same. Gonna drag Speed King in. Speed King, how did you feel during the race?
Oh, what's up? Hold on, let me turn up on my end.
There we go.
There we go.
How did you feel during that race?
I thought it was pretty good. Death
I
Mountain
had
kind of
some
screwed me,
issues on
but I mean,
time.
hell, like 1 minute off my PB, not bad.
Pretty good.
I'm satisfied with it.
I kind of gave you a late start because I had some issues. I got in the groove and completely forgot to go to F4, so you were a couple of minutes behind.
Yeah, don't worry about it. At least we finished it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent about 3 weeks on this route once I learned about the route or about the race from Noise Police, and I kept modifying it, and I had a little help from a great Z1 runner named Vaughn, so he really helped me tighten up the run.
Nice, nice.
So how did? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've played Zelda since 1987. Like it's by far my favorite game. I got it a few months after it came out, and I'm just so happy I could play it like this. I never thought of this run, so I really appreciate this.
Boomer. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm the same way, Professor Retro. I was born when Zelda 1 came out, but it was the first Zelda game I played, and it always has a special place in my heart. However, I was about 12 when Ocarina of Time came out, and that's why, that's that age, you know what I mean, where you're like, ooh, I love this game.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, that's awesome that you started with that game. My younger brother, he's 4 years younger than me. He just loved Ocarina. I've never played it. I don't think I'll ever play it, but I appreciate it.
You should absolutely give it a chance.
I don't know how to I don't know how to play a 3D.
I don't know how to 3D. I was gonna say, is it the 3D? Yeah. Yeah.
It's also a first generation 3D game. It's the worst time at 3D games, but it's still a good game. Like, how they can pull off a good game at that era of gaming is beyond me.
Yeah, it looks super fun. I've been watching Owl play it for the past few weeks, and he was getting super frustrated with it, but he did great tonight, and everybody did great on that game.
Yeah, definitely.
And everyone did great in A Link to the Past. That's a game I wish I could run. It's too many bits.
You're stuck on 8 bits.
I really am.
There's nothing.
You don't need more than
It's
8.
not 8 bits.
But it's super fun, and I posted a tutorial for this run, just for anybody that wants to try the Z1 run, the magical sword run. It doesn't have screen scrolls, it doesn't have any tricks, so you don't need to do tricks to get a decent time in it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
It would be the 21st of next month. We have a tentative time of 8 p.m. It is going to be a knockout style tournament. The way we're going to do this is each level is going to be its own round. So everybody starts every level at the same time. And basically, if you come in last, you lose a life. The last person standing wins. Bonus stages, the person with the fewest points at the end of the bonus stage, they lose a life. And we'll just keep going until we have one man standing. We have Brood, who is He's pretty high on the leaderboard. He was pretty much going neck and neck when he started his Twitch career about a year ago, just doing Uniracers. So he knows the game really well, and he'll be doing some commentary for us on that one. We may need to adjust some rules here or there, but the basic premise, it's going to be a elimination tournament. Basically, you lose a life and keep going. So you can make mistakes, and it's going to be a little more forgiving that way.
Awesome.
Nice. I just dropped it in the chat as well. Nice. Yeah, what is interesting, so you proposed this magical sword route, and I went over to the Z1 Discord, and I was like, "Hey, can we have a magical sword %?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's already there." It had been there for like 3 years. They're like, "Yeah, dude, there's something for all of them." So it's really interesting. There's categories for everything. Categories for getting the blue candle, for getting the power bracelet. They're all there. It's really fun. It's really improved my game doing this. So I really appreciate this. I think this run in particular has made me so much better at the game, because I've had to learn how to fight. So like you saw in my run, I was fighting Gleeok on 3 hearts. If I did that before, I couldn't have beat him. So it's really improved my game. Doing the screen scrolls, I couldn't do those at all until I started learning this run. So I'm really motivated to keep doing the N% and then the individual levels as well.
But I don't know what you're talking about. I'm working on finishing the run. I got Master Sword in right now. It's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. This was always my favorite game, and this was whenever I first started watching stuff on Twitch, I searched Link to the Past and started watching runs of that. And so at the time, I didn't think I could speedrun. And then I started getting into things like what we do here in this community and learned, you know what, I can. So I think I might actually revisit it now that I'm a more seasoned runner, if you will.
Well, I'm sure you'll be disappointed to hear that there will be no more Ocarina of Time for me, at least for a little while. I'm a retro gamer at heart for sure, and this is 100% fits that bill. I'm more of an 8-bit kind of guy myself, just like Professor Retro. But learning this run was interesting. I can't say that it didn't make me cuss up a storm, because it did in many places, but it was such an exercise in, can I remember to do all these little things all at once? And it was a good peek behind the curtain of what a Ocarina of Time runner has to know in a full run, in an any % run. All of these little things add up over time. And if you look at the guys who do those, like the 100% runs in a couple of hours, and it's absolutely flabbergasting to me. The level of knowledge that you folks have that do this game regularly is out of this world in comparison to, like, say an NES game. I mean, we do a lot of really cool stuff on the NES, and we can grind our times to dust to where we can get within frames of a perfect game. A game like this, if someone were to ever achieve something like that, I mean, it's kind of nigh impossible, almost. I mean, because there's so many little things that you just can't appreciate. If you watch people run this game, if you've seen people run this game, I implore you to at least, if you're a speedrunner, pick it up and learn Master Sword, just Master Sword. Learn how to get out of the village and get the Master Sword, because that will give you just a taste of what actually happens. And if you're brave and you want to do this 4-bay run, that Beery hover in Jabu Jabu is insane.
I don't want to talk about that trick.
It is insane. That trick is insane. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to pull this off in the run. And then I only had to reset the room once. And that was because I killed the Beery with ISG. I had it. All I had to do was put the damn sword away. Couldn't do it. It was the mundane thing that caught me up. So, but I tell you, if you don't like it, if you think it looks dumb, or if you think it's not challenging, you're absolutely wrong. The game is incredibly hard. It was very difficult coming from a 2D perspective to a 3D perspective, but it really, I felt like I grew quite a bit just going through it. So I may not go back to it, but I'll remember it always. Yeah, they're like within 2 or 3 frames of a perfect run, like the TAS run. Yeah, I'd believe it. I can't imagine. Right. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, obviously, I'm sure the TAS can do that humans cannot. But I mean, even a human viable TAS, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they were to run one up, I'm sure that getting to that level in a game like Ocarina of Time is nigh impossible, because of how much minutia there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so the last 48 hours of my life have been an absolute crash course in this game. So I'm probably going to take a short break from speedrunning it, but I definitely plan on finding like a category that that seems interesting to me and trying to learn it and get a good time, like in the not so distant future.
Yeah, my very first Zelda game I ever speedrun, actually. Yeah, most definitely. I'm going to be taking a break from it because I want to be focusing back on Sonic again, but I'm definitely going to come back and tackle a few categories. I definitely want to speedrun the whole game. Yeah, it's great.
As you said earlier, I don't consider myself a speedrunner. I may be able to get to the skills to be a speedrunner. I may be able to practice and grind down the tricks. But more times than not, that isn't the joy. I think I have more fun of, hey guys, we're having a race, and just having fun here in the group. Basically, getting the logistics of the race, and really just the camaraderie that we have here. That's what I have fun with. It's not so much the grinding and getting better at the game, because I can have fun with the game if I play it casually 1,500 times. I also like playing more games, so I'll be moving on to doing other games and probably not learning this speedrun of Zelda.
I was gonna say, would you just add it to your repertoire of hey, I'm gonna play this game tonight. Let's go grab the white sword or the magic sword,
Maybe. We'll see.
Awesome. Avadrock brought up Batman NES. I wanted to learn that game for a long time. Or Ugly Owl, I guess, brought it up.
I'm gonna have to learn that game. I'm very sad about it.
Dude, that game looks so awesome, and the soundtrack, dude, the soundtrack.
The sound is the music is excellent. Absolutely.
I've heard it's a pretty good game. I could be wrong.
It's hard as hail.
But hard doesn't mean bad.
No.
It's Batman. It's Sunsoft. It's amazing.
And the soundtrack, how could you not love a game with a soundtrack like that?
Sunsoft has the best bass on the NES.
That might be hands down my favorite soundtrack from an NES game for sure.
Oh, it's excellent for sure, no doubt.
Does anybody have any final comments? I guess.
Yeah, Zero. Just thanks so much to Retro Rat Race. Thanks to you for putting this on. I've never been so excited about anything than this race.
I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making the route. I ran the route a couple times. I was ready to step in until Blue stepped in. This has been super fun, and I super enjoyed having all of you here. And you guys made a hype event, an absolutely hype event.
My last question for the group is, how many of you are planning to come back for Uniracers next month? And it's just over a month away.
Uniracers hype.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's one from Alti. There's a one from Speed King. I'll probably do it as well.
I don't know what Uniracers is, but I'm going to look into it and see if it looks interesting.
It's a race.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a race. That's all you need to know.
It's got race right in the name.
We're live.
And
I'm the one who showed it to Brood.
I was about to bring up Brood. If y'all ask him for help, I am sure he will give you any pointers you need. He's also a daytime streamer at this point. He streams in the morning, so you can always check him out. His Twitch name is BroodVX. And he will be our commentator for the race. Any other final remarks for the night?
GG, everybody.
Yeah, GG's to everybody. And congratulations to our team 2, Professor Retro, Pole's Voice, Ugly Owl, taking in that victory, that sweet, sweet victory. I will take Alti's link and buy some damn stamps so that I can mail you guys your patches. Feel free to DM me on Discord your address, and I will do it as soon as I can. No promises though. But you'll get it. It's just you might not get it tomorrow,
One business year. One
business year, exactly.
All right. Well,
thanks, Zero. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you for participating, dude. Can't thank you. We wouldn't have been able to do it without the participants, so you guys are more important than, just hosting it.
If that's all, I'm going to give us a raid on over to somebody.
All right.
Looks like we got Pronzo is doing a Zelda 1 Metroid randomizer. So
those are very cool.
Let's go. Love PZ.
All right, guys. We'll let Herbie kick this raid off, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.
Go.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
Good race tonight. I like it.
Did we end up rating? Are we good?
Yeah, I sent us over. We're good. As long as you're not.
I mean, we're still streaming, so I'm just making sure I can close stream.
Yeah,
That's
you
all.
can kill the